This is a Fox News Alert. We continue our coverage of the very tense situation in Ferguson, Missouri tonight. Joining me now, Fox News political analyst Juan Williams, and the Black Sphere's Kevin Jackson is with us. You know, when I first heard the eyewitnesses, including Dorian Johnson, I thought, wow, shot in the back, had his hands up, a couple other people corroborated. I had the impression this is a situation that I'd not seen. Now we get more information. Every bit of the storyline seems to now shift. We have a broken orbital eye socket of the police officer, severe wounds on the face. Eyewitnesses now saying that on 2 occasions, the officer was bum rushed by Michael Brown, pushed into the car, a struggle for the gun, then he ran at him. Now, if those stories are true, that would be justifiable use of force. Very different narratives, but diametrically opposed.
Right.
What are the people to think about this?
Well, I think, Sean, the biggest issue with this is who set the narrative. When you look at how the media covered it and how everybody sort of they proffered the idea that Michael Brown was a choir boy, that he was a good kid, he was on his way to college, meaning he had a future. Then all of a sudden, it's very difficult to tear that narrative down. And I think the left got in front of this thing before the other folks. If you'll recall, you couldn't say anything against Michael Brown because if you did, you wanted him dead.
Oh, more than that. I mean, remember, if anyone mentioned the videotape
sure.
of him really, I mean, shockingly, you know, strong-arming this poor, you know, store clerk and pushing him into the potato chip rack and coming back like this at the guy,
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty intimidating. Juan Williams, Dorian Johnson was the first person I heard. He said, you know, we're walking along, minding our own business. What he didn't say is that they just got done knocking off this convenience store, which I think goes to the mindset of what they both were thinking about seeing any police officer in that moment. Is that pertinent in your mind?
Somewhat. You know, I guess it speaks to mindset, Sean, but I just worry about the way you were approaching this. I got to tell you, as your friend, I mean, it's worrisome to me.
What's worrisome?
Because, I mean, because, you know what, I've seen the videotape of the officer, you know, standing by the body, walking around, looking like he's in a daze or concerned. I don't know what's going on in his mind, but he did not look like he was bleeding, holding his head, suffering from a broken orbital bone. And I think the police have released information
he went back to the police station and somebody broke his...
I don't know what happened.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know. I can't speak to that. I can just speak to what...
the police officer walking around.
Hold on, Sean.
Come on, man.
I can only speak to what I saw on the tape.
And I simply
also say to you...
What about the eyewitnesses? We have diametrically opposed stories.
I don't know,
One
because
is that
you
Michael
and I
Brown
both know...
Hang on.
As
Michael
you
Brown
just
had his
said,
hands up, or that he attacked and bum-rushed the officer. If he bum-rushed the officer...
I don't know. Those are narratives. We both know that people who say they're eyewitnesses often don't remember things correctly or outright lie. So what I can tell you is what I know. And what I know is this kid was shot 6 times, an unarmed kid, and I think that's outrageous.
You think it's outrageous? So you're judge, jury, and executioner.
Well, the question I would ask Juan is, what would you be saying if the situation were reversed? I think a lot of times on the left, you guys colorize issues to the point where you're seeing only through the prism of black, and I think that's what's happened here. The left saw what they wanted to see, and then all of a sudden the bell starts ringing for the profiteers. So my question would be, what would have happened had this cop been black and he'd shot a white kid? Would Juan Williams be taking the same approach? And I think the balanced approach would be, let's look at all the evidence, but nobody did that. The left set the narrative of how great a kid Michael Brown was and how destructive this cop was, and he was obviously on a hunt for black people, and that's what's destructive, not what Sean's doing.
Let me just say, I think it's very destructive, and I have one who has said all along, thuggish behavior needs to be punished. People who are law-abiding, be they black, white, Hispanic, whatever, cannot tolerate people intimidating folks, running into a store, grabbing cigars, whatever. I think it's outrageous. I live in the black community. I am scared of it. But I'm going to tell... Let me finish, Sean. You don't want me to finish? Come on. But I'm going to tell you something. When you see the justice system, you know, not respond to someone being shot 6 times and left in the street like that, it's very distressing. And it inspires paranoia and fear that there's going to be a cover-up. That's why you see that. And that's why you get then people like Sharpton able to come in and take advantage of the fear and the anxiety in the black community.
Juan, you have reached a judgment without even half the facts. I don't know what happened, nor do you. You don't know
I
what
just said
happened.
that, and you're the one making judgments. I said
I'm not
all I
making a
can judge
judgment.
is what I saw of the policeman walking around, no sign of any orbital bone broken as he stands over a dead man.
Well, Juan, you can't see that in the film, number one, and number two.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't see that. In fact, they even said that the cop who did it, he had already left. But let's, for the sake of discussion,
that's the cop.
No, hold on. I want to cover something.
The cop.
I want to cover something you said
Real
a second
quick,
ago.
last word.
Real quick, what you said was that they left his body out there. That's what investigations do. They leave bodies in where they lie.
They cover it. They don't leave you like a deer, like an animal in the street.
That's not the issue. Is more important here from a legal standpoint. Was it justifiable use of force?
I agree.
If Michael
I don't know how it can be justifiable,
ran at
but
the officer,
let's let the justice system go.
Let me finish. As some eyewitnesses say, if he ran at the officer, that's justified use of force. If he had his hands up and was doing nothing, that's not justified use of force.
Boy,
you don't know, and I don't know.
That's not true. I don't know, but what I do know is that kid's dead 6 times. That's beyond excessive. That's lethal force.
Well, if he was running at the officer, again, I repeat, if he wasn't, then that's a different story. We'll find out more. Coming up, more Hannity when we return. Straight ahead. Thank you both.